Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy anything you may celebrate as my family gets ready to celebrate Christmas. I hope you all have a great holidays and a great New Year's we come up. Today, hey, we're doing a special edition of the Core Cutting Q&A as we are out of town this week. So I am hoping that this is streaming well. We're trying out a new setup here. We're going to do our best to answer your core cutting related questions, hopefully help you get the most of your core cutting experience. Real quick, I am going to go ahead and share this across multiple different places. So hang in there with me 1 second as we do that so that we can let everybody know we're live on YouTube answering your core cutting questions, maybe some Christmas questions, some New Year's questions. I look forward to 2018, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you may celebrate. Let's answer some questions today in the world of core cutting. So let me jump into the live streaming side and show this on Facebook. One last place to go and we'll be ready. But yeah, so I am in the great state of Michigan enjoying a lovely cold. Okay, I miss our Texas weather, but it's cold. There's a little bit of snow outside. I'm wearing the Christmas gear today and we're going to celebrate some Christmas. So let's see here. We are going live, I hope. There we go. So we are live. YouTube just took forever to get into it. Brandon, movie fan, NYC, Ray, Richard. Thank you, everybody. I hope wherever you may celebrate, even if you're just planning kind of kicking the feet up this weekend, next week, and enjoying some time watching TV, whatever it may be, streaming some Netflix. I hope you have a great one. All right, so just got shares in the Facebook group, and we're going to get ready to answer your core cutting related questions. It's been a surprisingly busy week. You know, typically this once you get into the week before Christmas and the week of Christmas, not much news happens. There's been a lot. So, if you want to talk about AT&T offering unlimited home internet, if you're an AT&T internet customer and you have DIRECTV Now, the data cap will be waived. No $30 fee that typically happens. So let me know. But hey, if let me know two things. Does this look clear? Two, does the microphone work well? Internet's been a little shaky here at the parents' house, so we'll see. Let me know what you think of the quality of the sound. And I get it, this is not going to be as good as it typically is, but hopefully it's good enough. Orange Show says, hey Luke, what do you think of the Fire TV Recast? On the flip side, buying it because I have everything Echo and Fire TV. Yeah, if everything you own is Amazon products, basically, Fire TV Recast is a great option. I think the biggest option with the Fire TV Recast is the fact it doesn't support a lot of devices. So if you happen to have a Roku or an Apple TV or an Android TV somewhere in the home, you're kind of out of luck. And that's kind of where Tablo excels because they support all of that. And with the Tablo, and problem with the Tablo though, you got to do a little bit more work. For instance, the Tablo Dual Lite is a $99. I think it's still on sale at $99. It was like a week ago. And then you got to get like a $50 hard drive and then $100. So the pricing is about the same within $20, but where the Fire TV Recast is just one flat fee, you know, that's one option. One selling point on it. NYC, yes, he says Star India, the cable network in India, used to have international packages with like Dish and other places, and now they're pulling all those channels from Dish, from Sling TV, and from other providers, and they're launching their own direct streaming service in the United States and other places around the world, where you'd be able to watch Indian programming direct from India, similar to how BritBox is direct from BBC. And so on. So I do expect to see a lot more of them coming in the future. That we see companies launch. You know, why license your content to Dish when you can just do it yourself? And we're seeing it the other way around. CBS has also said, hey, why am I licensing my content to Canada? I can launch CBS All Access in Canada and do it direct. So it's very interesting. Movie Fan says, do I know anything about DirecTV Now's beta box? Oh, wait. Sorry, Ray. I'll get DirecTV Now or Movie Fan's comment next, but this is Ray's comment. Do you know anything about Verizon's Beyond Unlimited? And does their hotspot strong enough to stream? Yeah, so Verizon's hotspot is plenty fast enough to stream. The problem is you really need to read the fine print to see if there's a point where they may slow you down. Some people do it successfully. Some people live in areas where they'll stream for a few months and suddenly Verizon will trigger a, oh, we're going to slow you down because you're streaming so much, and suddenly streaming doesn't work great. So just keep that in mind. It should be more than enough, but you can run into catches. Movie Fan says apparently the DirecTV Now beta box is terrible. It's not allowed users to log into the account. I had some problems logging into, had to reset my password and did it. That worked. So if you have the ability there to not log in on the beta box, try resetting password, see if that works. MyLessC99, okay, says, hey Luke, are you going to do another Vegas hotel review video when you go back? Yeah, so in the other channel, probably will. I will be at CES in a couple weeks. Probably will shoot some videos while I'm out there for the other Guy Reviews channel. Dean says, does CBS offer live streams to their channels in Canada? I don't believe so. I just think it's on demand. You know, as it comes out on their network, it goes live on demand in Canada. Dennis says, I've noticed that Comcast recently added more news channels like Newsy, Newsmax, and I-24. Now, are you talking about the Comcast streaming or the cable service? Let me know. Richard says, Curiosity is working on a Roku TV and streaming device again. It didn't like special characters in your password. Huh. So like an equal sign or something, it didn't like that, is what you're saying, Richard? It's good to know. So I hear anybody else say they're struggling with Curiosity stream on Roku. I'll let them know, check, make sure the password doesn't have any unusual characters in it. The cable service. Okay, that's why I didn't notice it at all. All right, so if you have a question, I see a lot of people are coming in. To everybody who's joining us, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you may celebrate. I hope you're having a great day, great week as my family celebrates Christmas here with our family. But let's see if we can help you with your cord cutting Q&A questions, whatever you may have. I'm going to try to help you still watch your TV and get more out of your cord cutting experience. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, helps us a lot. Also, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, with the exception of this week, because I was driving cross country from Texas to Michigan this week, that I was out this Wednesday. So we made it up on Friday today, but typically every Wednesday, there we go. So, got a question? Join us. Let's get in here and let's answer some more questions. All right. Starting my Hulu Live TV free trial for a month. Picture quality is top notch except for CBS World. Any idea when they will finish on the beta? So, yes, Hulu, I think they still consider it a beta. DirecTV still considers theirs a beta. It's kind of come to the thing that if you call it a beta, it gives you a lot more flexibility with your service where you don't have to go and say, hey, understand that this is not a perfect streaming experience. It's not necessarily going to be 100% excellent, across the board. But I would expect Hulu to be making, hopefully in the next year or two, both DirecTV Now and Hulu will drop the beta. I think Hulu mostly has dropped the beta. I think it's all in just a few spots where they may still include it, where it's called a beta. So keep that in mind. Terry, yeah, Grand Rapids has notoriously bad roads. What I love about Michigan is when you're coming from Chicago on the come up I-94 out of Chicago into Michigan, and you see the Michigan sign. Right after the Michigan sign is a bunch of potholes. You get Indiana, beautiful road. Indiana makes that road really nice. You cross in the Michigan border, pothole city. I already feel like my car needs an alignment after being in the state like a day. Is Verizon Visible Mobile service 5 MPs fast enough for streaming? It is and isn't. It will give you a standard def nice stream. I used to have 5 down with whatever the Walmart one, simple whatever. The Walmart one that used Verizon's network. And I really liked it. The only problem is at that time I used them, they didn't have a data cap, so I went back to, or hotspot. And I went back to Verizon for hotspot. But I was able to stream movies and TV shows through my phone on that 5 down. Thank you, Bob. I'm glad you liked the jacket. Walmart. Yeah, this is my best Walmart jacket I got. All right, so let's get the questions. If I haven't answered your question, re-ask. I'm going to do my best to answer them all today during a special Q&A. Recently dropped DirecTV and got DirecTV Now. My internet costs went up $10 to $70 a month for unlimited, 50 down 10 up. Can you explain their combined DirecTV Now and internet service? Is this a contract? Hector, if you're talking about the story that we posted some more details about today, that DirecTV Now, if you're an AT&T internet customer where you have DirecTV and you have DirecTV Now, so you have to have AT&T's fiber or DSL. Typically, for $30, you can have unlimited data. You won't get a data cap that way. Well, what AT&T says, if you've got their internet service and DirecTV Now, they'll waive the data cap with no $30 charge. Now, you need to have both DirecTV Now and AT&T home internet service, whether it be DSL or fiber, both on the same home address. So the home address and the billing and all that must have the same address and should just work. Now, your rate, wherever your home internet will, depends on where you live. Because the same speed may be different in somewhere in Maine, for example. I don't know if AT&T's there, versus somewhere in Texas. It really depends on a lot of factors on the pricing on that, so keep that in mind. Matt asks, does YouTube TV have a back button using Roku? And I want to say, I'm not sure. Sling does. The recall button on the Roku remote, the little jump back button, will go to the previous channel on Sling. I wanted to say Roku, or with Roku, YouTube TV did too. Somebody please, if you have YouTube TV and Roku, is there a way to jump previous channel? Like, I know Sling does it. If you could help me out, leave me a comment, let me know. My brain is 50-50. I know, and I can't remember which way it goes. I don't want to say yes and then find out I was thinking of a different live TV streaming service. So somebody here who has YouTube TV, help me out. Listen to any internet radio from Pandora or iHeartRadio during the road trip. I do that when I travel from New Jersey to Delaware. Yeah, so actually, NYC, what I did is, so I got a GMC. I just got my first GMC car vehicle ever this year. After my almost 10-year-old vehicle finally just said, you know what, I've had enough. I'm 10 years old. You've driven me all over the country. We've had enough. So I had to get a new one. And it has the ability for $20, you get the unlimited data Wi-Fi in the vehicle with no contract. So I did that. My daughter watched YouTube Kids and played Roblox, and she did all kinds of stuff on it. It worked amazingly well. And I streamed through the built-in iHeartRadio and Pandora app on my GMC, music and everything the entire way up from Texas. No problems. I think in one spot in Illinois we didn't have internet, where Verizon had internet, but not AT&T's service through the GMC. It's amazing that we were able to, all the way from Texas to Michigan over 2 days. My daughter just watched all the YouTube Kids she wanted and everything. $20 flat fee. Really shows you that, you know, some of these limited plans out there probably should be. I don't know. I think that's probably one of the best deals. If you have a kid, you have a GMC vehicle with OnStar. It's one of the newer in the last few years. $20, unlimited data from AT&T, cross-country driving. What a lifesaver for parents when you have young kids. Wow, that was worth every penny. And when I get back, I'll just cancel it so I don't get billed next month. What's the best rural internet for rural America? I only have 50 gigabytes, not doing the job to do a lot of streaming. Yeah, that's the problem with rural America, and it really depends a lot on where you live. You're going to have to do some research because there's not one service that's available nationwide. Now, there's a lot of fixed wireless and 5G networks starting to roll out to rural American areas, and there are efforts to bring new satellite internet, what's called low orbit, whatever they want to call it, satellites, which are about half the distance, if I remember right, up compared to what traditional satellite internet is, which offers much better latency and the like with it. So I would really recommend you check that option out. But it's not everywhere yet. They're rolling these services out. You may have to wait a year or two. Maybe just because you lack internet in a very rural area, it may not be where you want it yet. Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 or 4 years or so, 2 to 5, let's say, more internet options will start rolling out to more rural America. AT&T, Microsoft, all kinds of places are rolling out these fixed wireless networks, which should help bring competition to rural America. People are telling me that Ford also offers a hotspot feature. See, I had like a 2010 vehicle, which I think was purchased in 2009. So like all this stuff, this newfangled technology stuff, was pretty new to me. But so apparently some people are saying Toyota has some type of Bluetooth option. Wasn't Toyota only uses Bluetooth? So what I guess people are saying. GMC car must be really good. So I think pretty much most GMC vehicles that have OnStar, which is pretty much Chevys and all of them, have that feature now for internet. So I think mine's a couple years. I bought it used. It's a couple years old, but I think most of them have that now. If you have OnStar built in the last couple years, some people said Ford is also offering Wi-Fi through Bluetooth, but Toyota only has Bluetooth. Yeah, I had a Toyota last time. And yeah, one of the reasons I went with GMC was all the technology stuff they offered. I thought that was pretty cool. Something that Toyota is surprisingly lacking. HCF says, can you please do a comparison on audio quality from the top live TV streaming services? We can. Most of them are the same. There's a couple that are starting to offer 5.1 surround sound with like DirecTV Now. But most of them are still the stereo sound you get with standard cable. Todd, I'm glad you liked the jacket. You can find this at Walmart. I forget what it was. I got a sale price. It was the only size I could get. Whatever happened to Amazon doing a UI overhaul for Prime Video? I felt like it was months ago. Yeah, it was earlier this year that the new head of something over at Amazon Video leaked that she'd been testing on a mobile device, remember, the new user interface for Amazon Prime. Keeping in mind that often internal tests happen for months to years before they hit public. Sometimes internal tests happen and then they decide it wasn't worth it, so they decide not to launch it. So keep it all in mind that just because she reported that they're testing within the DirecTV Now or within the Amazon, system a new user interface, it may or may not come out. But yes, it was being tested and we'll see what happens. How much, Movie Fan asks, how much will the increase on DirecTV Now be in January? We don't know. So far, there's been no announcement of a price increase in DirecTV Now. There has been an announcement of a price increase on DirecTV. I think it was $1 to $3 or $4, something in that range. But they also had fee hikes depending on which plan and service, Uverse and DirecTV, both the broadcast TV and the regional sports fees, depending which package you had, which service you had there. So once again, cord cutting is going to be cheaper next year than it was this year, because as TV gets more expensive, cord cutting is just not increasing nearly at the same rate. Hector says, when watching episodes of programs on Hulu, I'm getting audio drops during and after commercials. I have the latest Fire TV 4K with the 6.2.5.8 update. I'm not sure about that, Hector. You're the first person to tell me about that. I'll keep an eye out for anybody complaining about Hulu. It could be a issue with the Fire TV. It could be an issue with the Hulu. I'm not sure. I'll keep my eyes open. I'll see if I hear a lot. If I get kind of some information, we'll try to talk to Hulu about it. All right. So a lot of news this week happening in the world of cord cutting. Let's just kind of break down some of it. Roku's rolling out an update to fix some Wi-Fi issues on Roku TVs. If you've had some weird Wi-Fi drops on Roku TV, they're doing some targeted updates with it. Now, this won't fix all yours. It could be an issue still on your end, but on very select models of Roku TVs, they're going to be addressing that issue. AT&T, if you have AT&T Home Internet and DirecTV Now, both accounts with the same home address, they will be waiving the $30 unlimited data fee, which is a pretty cool feature. Definitely going to upset some net neutrality fans. I've already heard from you very loud and clear. Very understandable why you'd be upset. But we'll have to wait and see. Those are kind of the biggest ones. Sling TV added some additional content like the tennis channel. Philo came out to Android TV this week. It's been a little bit of everything, so keep that in mind. All right. Any word on YouTube TV adding new channels? No, and Google rarely announces that before it happens. We did learn about Comet before it came to YouTube TV, but not because of YouTube TV, but because I think it was Sinclair and MGM who joint managed Comet basically announced that that was coming. So could there be new channels tomorrow on YouTube TV? Definitely. Unfortunately, we just don't know. They don't say. Usually we find out after it happens. And YouTube TV is actually one of the worst about saying. Sony's the worst, though. PlayStation View is the worst about telling people. Sony will do the most amazing things. They will add hundreds of locals. They will add really cool new features. And their PR team won't tell you anything. And YouTube TV is a lot like that. They will also do really cool things. And if you didn't catch a tweet, they may just do a tweet, or they may not even tweet about it. But if you didn't know where to look, you'll miss it. For instance, YouTube TV recently added the Weather Channel's local now service to YouTube TV. You had to dig into their app to find it with no announcement that it came. Movie Fan says, error connecting on the Roku Ultra for the Starz app. Any update? No, other than trying to do the basic stuff, uninstall, reinstall it, and that kind of like, I don't know what to tell you about the Starz. Contact Roku support. Dean, I am 100% with you. One of the best things about Comet is the fact that they've added Babylon 5. Amazon Prime has also added it. Man, I used to set my VCR because I'd be at work in the 90s and had my VCR all set to record Babylon 5. And I remember one time something went wrong and it didn't record. And it was the big final episode of the Shadow War, whatever, where, you know, the whole Shadow arc. And I missed it. And I had to wait until it re-aired like months later on, what was it, TNT, to be able to watch it. And it was painful. It was back before you could just go to Amazon or iTunes and buy an episode. And yeah, my VCR for some reason didn't record it. I don't know if I didn't have enough tape in it. Something went wrong. I think it was my fault. I was on my way to work. I was in a hurry. And it's amazing now if that happens, if I didn't record a particular episode, I go on iTunes or Amazon, and for a couple bucks I buy the episode, and there I have it. Back then I literally had to wait months and months to find out what happened in that episode. So how things change. I think Disney should, okay, Dennis says, I think Disney should have turned the Fox Sports regional networks they're trying to sell and rebrand them in ESPN regional networks. Dennis, Disney wanted to keep them, but the deal with the DOJ, the Department of Justice, said, hey, we will approve this without antitrust complaints if you sell the Fox regional sports ones. Basically, it came down to, they said, you have all the ESPN networks, you have ABC. Adding in the Fox regional sports just gives you too much power in the world of sports. You need to sell them off so we can keep the balance. Yes, there's Fox Sports, NBC Sports, and the like. But if you look at this, you know, what kind of sports they have and the viewers they have, ESPN is just way out in front there. So the Department of Justice said, hey, that's just too much power in one spot. You got to sell it. So, and again, Disney wanted to keep it, but I completely understand it. You know, the Department of Justice has been trying to enforce some controls there. You know, that they're appealing the AT&T Time Warner ruling to try to overturn that. We'll see if they're lucky. Probably know sometime early next year. All right, what's your thoughts on 5G? Tests have shown higher radiation levels around towers. Don't know why people would put that in their home. All the tests I have seen on 5G have showed it's safe. Here's the thing about 5G. It's passed all the safety tests, and I'm no expert. And my recommendation, if you're just watching some random YouTube channel who says this is not safe for you, it's just rolling out. We don't, you know, a lot of these videos from like a year ago that says, oh, 5G is not safe. I'm like, where did you test this? Because nowhere in the United States was 5G live a year ago. So that's the biggest thing. Always just take some of these things with a grain of salt, do your own research, and make your own decision. A lot of independent studies and the federal government have said it's safe, and so far it seems safe. So we'll see what happens. But as always, remember two things. There's always two sides to the argument with 5G. It's going to kill you. It's 100% safe. So there's two sides here between killing you and 100% safe. The truth is somewhere in the middle. But the question that you have to do your own research on is how far in the middle? Is it closer to it's going to kill you? Is it closer to it's 100% safe? And this isn't just about 5G, and this is the reason I took this question. It's about everything. You know, there's always sides. Roku is better than Fire TV. Fire TV is better than Roku. The truth is somewhere in the middle, and it really depends a lot on you. You have to do your research and see where you put the two things. Look at both sides and pick out which one you think is best for you. So keep that in mind. And don't take my word for it. Don't take some person's word on Facebook. Don't take somebody who says I'm a PhD from some random place word. Do your own research on everything. Because I could find you articles on everything, every which way. You really just need to do your own. Hey Luke, what's your thoughts on Spectrum's TV's choice streaming plan? So Spectrum has if you're a Spectrum Internet customer, 20 some bucks plus broadcast TV fees, so it's like 26, 27, something in the middle there. You can get all your locals, bunch of music stations that play radio stations basically no one cares about, and you get pick 10 channels from a list of channels, which includes a lot of big name channels. So keep in mind, there are some limitations. I don't believe there's a DVR on it last time I checked, unless they added it recently and I missed that. If they did, let me know. But if you have Spectrum Internet, it's not necessarily a bad deal if they have the channels you want. 20 some bucks, locals, and your 10 channels of whatever you pick. Some, there are limitations about watching it outside your home. There's no DVR, which for a lot of people is a killer, and they are missing some channels. But for the most part, they have the channels you want. Keep it in mind. Why does Hulu and Netflix win? I have auto play. They stop it and ask, are you still watching? I can't even find a way to stop them asking. They have to keep asking for a couple reasons. For one, it's a feature. If you have a data cap, you don't want it to keep streaming all night long and burning your data on Netflix and Hulu. And before you know it, you just burned 20, 30 gigs overnight because you let it play for 10 hours. On the flip side, they pay, some of these streaming services pay per view. So there's like some bulk deals a lot of times, and it's based on how many people really watch it. So they don't want you falling asleep and them having to pay for a bunch of views when no one's really watching it. So that's why they do the Are You Still Watching? Keep that in mind. Thanks, everybody. Glad you liked the Christmas jacket. I hope whatever holiday you may celebrate, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or if you just plan on enjoying some time watching TV this week, I hope you all have a great holiday season. DC Universe, I think, is a paid service. Yes, DC Universe is a paid service. It includes TV shows and movies, but not a huge catalog of them at this point. But it also includes a lot of things like back catalog of classic comics and stuff. So if you're a really hard DC Universe fan, you may want to check it out. Nintendo Switch or PlayStation 4? Well, neither one I would really fully recommend for streaming. But if you really wanted a streaming, I think the PlayStation 4 has some better streaming options than Nintendo. But the Nintendo Switch, I think, has been adding more streaming services and getting better about it. Technology Sports says, did you know PlayStation View added picture scrubbing to the Apple TV? Can you clarify a little bit more? Just make sure we're all on the same page when you say picture scrubbing. Oh, amazing. Just said, hey, Luke, I got the Fire Stick 4K today on my second TV. The Sega collection is back on the Fire TV. I really enjoyed your home office tour with the video game systems. I'm glad you liked our video where we showed off all the different streaming players we had, including some of the game systems we have. It's good to hear the Sega collections there. I'll check that out because it was on sometime this week. They took it off. It was gone for a day or two, and now it's back. So it's great to see that it's back. What's a budget indoor antenna? I mean, there's a lot of budget indoor antennas. RCA makes some good ones. Mohu makes some good ones. Antennas Direct, I think, has a couple good ones. There's really quite a few brands out there. Do your research on Amazon. And remember, you do get a little bit of what you pay for with antennas. Now, don't get the crazy expensive antennas. There's antennas out there for hundreds of dollars making obscene claims. Don't pay the crazy high. But also those little $10 antennas, you do sacrifice some reception with that. Now, if you live in an area where over-the-air reception is very good, you live close to towers, hey, those little $10 antennas are going to do fine. If you live in an area where it's a little weaker, you may want to think about spending some money and getting a $60 or an $80 antenna. Because remember, it's a one-time purchase. Once you own it should go forever. So just keep that in mind. Is the Fire TV Recast the only option for a DVR with no monthly subscription? No. There's actually quite a few. So there's this Channel Master DVRs. They have no monthly subscription too. There's also options with like Tablo. So it's $99 for the Tablo Lite. Get an external hard drive. It's like $30-$40. Now you're $130. You add in a lifetime subscription, which I believe is about $100. Now you're around $230. So pretty much the same price as a Fire TV Recast, and then you have lifetime no subscription. Problem with the Tablo DVRs though, you have to do some bundling. Problem with the Channel Masters is they don't offer out-of-home streaming, so just keep that all in mind. But yeah, do your research. The Fire TV Recast DVR is a good DVR. My only holdup is if you want to be able to view it on non-Amazon devices, past like a phone or a tablet, kind of out of luck. If you're like me and you have multiple different types of devices throughout your home, you may want to get a Tablo just because it supports pretty much everything. I hope Amazon wises up and brings support to like the Roku and Apple TV and Android, because I think that would make the Fire TV Recast a much more attractive option and a much more popular one. They may be trying to limit it to Fire TV only for now, just to handle maybe an initial rush of people trying to buy it. But the Fire TV Recast as an OTA DVR is a good DVR. I wish they would bring USB support for external hard drives. Hopefully that happens soon. But there's definitely trade-offs on both sides. Keep that in mind. All right. AirTV is another one that has no monthly fees. You buy an AirTV, and it works. You don't need a Sling TV subscription to use that either. I got so caught up in the Tablo breakdown, forgot about AirTV. TiVo offers lifetime subscriptions. I'm trying to remember though. I don't know if the TiVo OTA one, the new OTA TiVo one, I believe it does. It's not included like the old Romeo OTA versions, but they do offer it as an additional cost if you want to buy that, I believe. Pluto TV's getting more channels. I am getting a feeling that that they will soon not be free. Pluto TV has always stood by the idea that they will be free. Be very shocked if they ever go, if they are ever not free. So far, they seem to be really carving out a niche for themselves as kind of the repository for all these free services in one spot. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Hey, everybody, I see a lot of new names here. Hey, welcome. We're doing a special edition of this week's Core Cutting Q&A because I was traveling cross-country on Wednesday. Typically, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, I'm answering your Core Cutting-related questions for about an hour, give or take a little bit. We'll have to wait and see how that each week's a little different. But Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be here next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, so keep that in mind. But if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Hey, even if you're a current subscriber, make sure you hit the notification bell so when I go live like this, you know. So keep that in mind. I just bought myself another Nvidia Shield with my Christmas bonus. So excited. Congratulations, Ed. Nvidia Shield is probably one of the best Android TV streaming players out there. They're definitely the kind of the flagship Android TV streaming player, I would say. Let's check it out. Dean said, what I wish would happen is that other streaming services like PlayStation View would offer the ability to pull locals off your antenna and put them into your PlayStation View guide with data included. Yeah, that'll be cool. Most live TV streaming services, though, have decided to go the route of trying to go out there and select their own deals with different streaming services to be able to offer your packages. So, hey, if you got PlayStation View, has a lot of the logos you want. Problem is they just don't have a lot of small ones. They've added some of the decades or whatever it was, but they're still not having all the little stuff over their channels. So I definitely wish they would offer that. Sling offers that. Check it out. How is my DirecTV Now beta box working so far? Really disappointed at T dropped the discount on DirecTV Now. Yeah, so DirecTV Now Stream Player is nice. I think the remote could use a little bit of work. One of the big things I think AT&T missed the ball on was the last channel button. If you're building a custom remote for TV streaming, it has a number pad to type in like channel numbers. Why not put in the ability to hit last channel? If I'm jumping between football games, that's great. That's one of the reasons I absolutely love using Sling TV is the fact that they offer the ability to have a last channel option. So I can quickly jump between basketball or football games or whatever sports I may be watching. So we'll have to wait and see. Stefan said, I was wondering if you heard why it's taken so long for Pluto TV to add the buzzer channel to the Roku app. Well, it seems to be contract. They just added it this week to the Android Apple TV app, and so I expect Roku to come soon. John says, SkyStream TV says they are legal services. Have you had any communication with them? Yes. So we actually have a post. If you go to corecarsnews.com, type in SkyStream. We talk about the legalities of everything there in the talk. So you can find out more at corecarsnews.com. It's a really in-depth article where I talk to some of the people behind it. corecarsnews.com and talk to and type in SkyStream TV into the search box. Movie fan, you are 100% right. And antenna is always best if you can. The picture quality is amazing. Often, compared to most cable networks, an antenna will actually broadcast the content first. So it often goes antenna, cable, streaming. And the difference is usually a few seconds on cable and then up to 15 or so seconds on streaming. Some of the other services I've seen as much as 30, but most live TV services now have a 15, 20 second delay behind cable. To me, it's all good. That doesn't bother me. I know some people are really upset about that. They're like, hey, I don't want to wait 15 seconds to see what happened in a football game. You know, if that's what works for you, it's what works for you. Does DirecTV Now beta device have more HBO channels? No, it has everything. DirecTV Now's beta box, all it is the DirecTV Now app. Sitting, it's very similar to the Fire TV version. Just sitting on an Android TV interface. And it doesn't offer anything you don't get with your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV. Hector says DirecTV Now offers HBO for $5 a month. Seems too good to be true. Any thoughts? DirecTV Now and HBO are both owned by AT&T. So AT&T is giving DirecTV Now a special deal on that. So keep that in mind. Anthony says TiVo just sent an email to promotion to customers for $3.99 for the new 1 terabyte version. So, hey, if you're a TiVo customer, check out, see if you got an email for a special discounted version of the TiVo 1 terabyte. Curtis says, I got cable because internet prices are high as having cable. It shouldn't be. I save over $100 a month. According to the Wall Street Journal, the average core car saves over $100 a month. You have to shop around. You have to do your research. Here's 3 tips to help you save money on home internet. Shop around. Know what the competition has. Do that before you call your internet provider to cancel. Because always remember that an informed customer will get the best rates. Because often, if you don't know what the competition's doing, they're not going to give you a special deal, right? They're just going to call you and say, hey, $100 for internet. If you call and say, hey, well, your competition, hey, Comcast, AT&T's offering me $40 for that same 100 down. Will you match it? No, more often than not, they will match it. So know what the competition's charging, even if you don't want to switch, and be able to negotiate. Number 2, don't be afraid to switch. Every couple of years, I switch between DSL and cable. And you're probably saying, oh, DSL is awful. DSL in most areas has come a long way, so keep it in mind. The last part of this is always remember when they're talking to you and they're saying, oh, well, we'll give you this bundle deal. Often the bundle deal doesn't include all the hidden fees and taxes that they do with TV. They'll say, oh yeah, we'll give you TV and internet for $60. We got stories over at corecarsnews.com with copies of the bill that show $50, $60 in hidden fees and taxes and the like. So that $60 thing is now $110, $120. That's with a promotional rate. Always remember, the promotional rate will come to an end sometime in the future. Services like Comcast too charge you modem rental fees. I think some cable companies are now as much as $12 a month for the rental fee. You could buy a rental for under $100. So always remember, hidden fees, negotiate, know what the competition has, buy your modem if your provider allows you to, so you don't pay for the $12 or $10 a month rental fee. But no, I often hear people say, oh, well, it was cheaper to get cable. 99.9% of the time, when they send me their bill, 99% of the time, and we add it all up, they could have got the same content with cord cutting for cheaper. 99.9% of the time. Only one time did it not work out that way, and that was some college deal where they were living in a dorm or something, and the college was giving them some type of discount, like an on-campus apartment kind of deal. And it was like unbelievable. It's like everything for $20 a month. So keep that in mind. But do your research. One thing I found interesting. So a few years ago, using the Freedom of Information Act, I contacted a bunch of colleges around the country, major universities, and requested their contracts with the cable providers to figure out how much they're really charging. I was thinking about doing an article about the costs of cable towards higher education, all these TVs and dorms and everything, are they really watching them while the college is paying? What I discovered is major cable companies were charging pennies per student for a whole year. It would be like $1.50 per student for an entire year of cable TV with DVR and everything. Why are cable companies giving universities such sweetheart deals? Because they want those college students leaving their parents' home to get locked into the DVR and the whole experience with cable, so that when they get out of college, they go and watch, they go subscribe to TV. It's basically marketing is what they're viewing it with. So just keep that in mind on everything. But yeah, as always, one last thing on this thing. They will always make you think the bundles are cheap. Remember, they don't want to give you more for less. They want to do it because they make more money from it, right? These bundles, the internet, home, phone, all that, they do it because it saves them a lot of money, or makes them a lot of money, because there's fees on there. And often they'll say things like, oh, that's $39.99, but they don't really make it clear it's $39.99 each, right? So now you're over $100. Now you have to add in the $50, $60 in fees and taxes and the like. So keep that all in mind. Excuse me. John says, how much gigabytes per month do I need if I stream a lot of movies? That depends. Are you talking about like internet speed? I would recommend at least 20-25 down internet speed. A lot of movies, it's hard to say what service you're doing. I cut the cord with a 250 gigabyte data cap, and we made it work. But you have to do your own research and get out there and find out what you're watching, what you're using. Most of these services will tell you, like Netflix, how much data they consume per hour. So do your own math. But I could say a terabyte, but I don't know your family. I don't know. That's one of those things that depends. I use a lot more data because I'm doing these live streams. I'm uploading YouTube videos and more. And I often work from home. Where you may be watching 3 or 4 hours a night may feel like a lot, but it's a lot less data than what I do because I work from home. Arrow says, how should I address with YouTube TV that I have 3 channels that I can watch on the app that are not in the live programming guide? Ariel, what channels are those? What channels can you watch aren't showing up in your program guide? I'm very interested to find out more. Let me know. DJ says, I'm moving. Would you get AT&T fiber or Spectrum cable? I work from home and need a consistent internet source. Oh, that's hard to say without where you live. I have had CenturyLink and Spectrum, and both have been good for me. You know, the thing with AT&T is you will have a data cap where Spectrum won't. Though if you have DirecTV Now with both on the home same address, they say you won't have a data cap anymore. So keep that in mind, that it depends on where you live. And, you know, I may have very good internet. My parents have AT&T, and they've said that they've had issues. But I have the other side of my family, the in-laws, they have AT&T internet, and they say they have no issues. So it really depends on your street. Like, your street could have a box that's having issues with dropping, and the street next door has no issues because it's on a different node. So it's really hard to say. Does weather affect outdoor reception? It shouldn't really. Very minor. Very minor. But if you're right on the edge of reception, it can be enough to be significant. But for most people, you won't notice anything. When I was in the middle of a hurricane a couple years ago down in Texas, my OTA reception was perfect. No, YouTube TV does not support Plex DVR. Luke, which smart speakers do you use and preferred? Apple guy here, but I have 2 Amazon Echo Dots 3rd gens. I use mostly the Amazon Echoes. Very, very happy with them. Good news if you're an Apple guy, Apple Music is supported on there. It's recently just supported. I just can't bring myself to justify the cost of an Apple HomePod or whatever they call them. I just, you know, I don't use them mostly for music. I mostly use them for sports, radio, newscasts, what's the weather outside, that kind of stuff. And to me, that Echoes just can't be beat. I do like Google Home. I just haven't. I was into Echoes before Google Home came out, and I haven't made the switch over. And I do think the Echoes have a lot that, so far the Google Home doesn't, but the Google Home has a few things the Echoes don't. So it's really half dozen one way, half a dozen the other. All right. If I haven't answered your question, please re-ask them, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. Hey, we got about 10 more minutes until I'm kicking off my Christmas holiday weekend with my family. And again, no matter what you celebrate, what you're doing this week, I wish you all a happy holiday. If you're going to head out early, I wish you all just have a relaxing day. If you don't celebrate anything, maybe watch some TV, watch some Netflix, whatever you may be watching. Jay says, I recently downgraded internet speed with Comcast and have noticed absolutely zero difference. I've had their highest speed available, 250 down to 150. It honestly seems faster. It can seem faster because maybe the 150 one has less people using that tier. The reality is you really only need 20 to 25 down to stream Netflix. Netflix is for an HD connection. For each HD stream, you need 5 down. So a 20 down connection will be able to allow you to stream 4 HD streams of Netflix. Now, 4K will need a little bit more. If you're into 4K, you're looking at about, let's say, 20 per connection. Some people say about 16, 18 connection. Some people say about 25 per 4K connection. So really, I find with most people, once you get, if all you're doing is streaming Netflix, and, you know, we could talk about gaming. I have a gigabyte service because I have the data upload speed. The reality with it for me is it just has, you know, once I get over 100 for streaming Netflix, I haven't seen a difference. Now, for doing things like this, for the up speed is what I do it for, because I want a good connection in my home office and in the office at work for up speed connection. But for streaming, I think for most people, once you get over 100 down, you're really not going to notice any difference. Let's see here. Chris says, I like the new channel guide on Philo, except for one thing. The channel logos are a little small. Do they plan to fine-tune the new guide? They haven't announced any fine-tuning ones recently, but I'm sure Philo is going to continue to fine-tune their service. Ed says, Luke, any news on T-Mobile TV? Other than it being delayed into 2019? No. Which, you know, we've known about for about a month now. By the way, I love the jacket. Thanks. I'm glad you like our holiday spirit we're getting into here. Any Roku items coming out that I should wait for? You know, they just launched a bunch of Roku players a couple months ago. So if you're looking for a player, I would say no need to wait. Traditionally, CES has some TV news, but that may not come out until summer. Typically, when there's some announcements, you go. Honestly, the Roku TVs on the market now, especially that TCL 6 series, so good. I would buy now if you found a good deal. If you want Roku players, though, I've never seen Roku make any announcements at CES for Roku players in my recent memory of the last couple years going. Usually, we may get something around like late spring, April, May, but Roku does more of the releases in the fall. And we just had that whole series where they added the Premier line, upgrade the Roku Ultra, etc. So I would not expect any new ones recently. What am I looking forward to in the world of CorkCon next year? A lot more streaming service, a lot more content. Not tomorrow, but next week, I'm going to do a whole 2019 prediction video. So check that out and keep checking into our CorkCon weekly recaps every Saturday right here on YouTube. I post my thoughts on some of the biggest stories. Tomorrow, I'm doing a video looking back at the biggest stories from 2018. And then next week, I'm going to look forward to the biggest stories of 2019. So keep that in mind. Ariel says, those new channels on YouTube TV are local now and Start TV. Yeah, they've had them on YouTube TV for a little while now. Why they don't make them very clear, you kind of have to hunt for them. And excuse me, one of the easiest ways is to search in the search box for them, but I don't know why YouTube TV does that. DG says, hello, I'm using PlayStation View. The streaming in my living room is clear. However, the stream quality in my office is not. How can I fix that? Probably weak Wi-Fi in your office. Check to see if you can make the signal strength a lot stronger in your office. Weak Wi-Fi is the number one cause. Because as the Wi-Fi gets weaker, the internet speed slows down. So you may get, a gigabyte at the transmitter, but if you're on the edge of the Wi-Fi signal, even though the gigabyte internet at your transmitter is strong, at the edge of the Wi-Fi network, you may be only getting half a gig. Or 20 or 30 down is what I mean to say. So keep that in mind. Robert asks, does Toast.net have a month-to-month service? Not that I know of. I think it's a one-year contract. Same with most internet providers. But hey, we do have a special promo code over at CorkCarsNews.com. I think I have a link to it. I don't think so right now. But over at CorkCars News, if you type in Toast.net, I have a deal there. I'll be reposting it next week. $5 off every month for the first year with our promo code. But like most, I believe they have a one-year contract with it. It's Mo says, how different will DirecTV's streaming service be from DirecTV Now? We just don't know. We'll have to wait next year until it launches to figure that out. All right, so last call for questions, and I'm going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. Anthony says, Laugh TV, I recently discovered, has a lot of classics when I was younger in the 2000s. Yeah, I think they even had Home Improvement recently added this year. I think it was this year. Yeah, if you are really honestly mean this, if you're a cord cutter, go get an antenna. Even if you want to primarily rely on streaming services, antennas give you access to a wide range of content like Laugh TV, Comet TV, and more, which you can't always get with a streaming service. Comet's a bad example. But it's also a great backup if your internet ever goes out. Just keep that in mind. Movie Fan says, should I return the DirecTV box or keep it? Well, they didn't charge you for anything, so excuse me, I say keep it. It doesn't cost you anything. They're not billing you monthly for it, so I say keep it. Any recommendations for a Wi-Fi extender? Well, you may want to look into like a Google Home Wi-Fi network, one of those mesh networks if possible. Otherwise, if you really just want a Wi-Fi extender, I would recommend getting whatever brand you have. So if you have a Netgear router, get a Netgear extender, except the same. I find that works the best. Heathen Dude says, Kodi or APKs? We just don't get into the piracy here. Plenty of YouTube channels for that. But the reality is, they're basically the same thing. APK, a lot of people are like, oh, APK is best thing ever. APK is just a file format. It's like .exe. It's just an install packet. It's an install program. So, yeah, APKs are just the extension code to install on Android devices. What to do if I'm stuck in an expensive internet bill and can't go anywhere else? DSL is less than 1 down, 0 up, and the cable provider is not a big name and won't change the rates. You just either have to move or you have to wait until either the new satellite services launch in the next couple of years, or fixed wireless comes to your area in the next couple of years, or 5G comes to your area in the next couple of years. Give it some time. Someday down the road, it's going to be other wireless options are going to come to where you live. If you're not willing to wait, you may want to move. It's kind of one of those things. Keep that in mind. Movie Fan says, is it worth getting a VPN service? For things like when you're traveling and you're using a public hotspot and you got to do some business, yeah, don't ever serve public hotspots without a VPN. For streaming, no, I don't really see a reason to. And the reality of streaming too is you may think, oh, well, I'm gonna do it so I can pirate. Increasingly, they're becoming very good at still finding you. I've been hearing this. I've been getting complaints about that recently. Hey, I was using this VPN service, pirating content. I got a copyright infringement notification. No clue what's happening there, but I've noticed that trend popping up recently. So keep that in mind. Here's one. I've been super curious about T-Mobile's new TV streaming service. I wonder what it'll be like. We just don't know, and according to all reports, T-Mobile has been struggling to get deals they want, so we'll have to wait and see. What's the best modem router combo? There's a lot of good ones. I've personally been a big fan of the Netgear recently. TP-Link's another one. There's a few others. I really don't think you're going to go wrong with most of them. Read your reviews. Just make sure they support the internet speed you are paying for. Does Fire TV have more or better supported apps than Android TVs? They both have ones the others don't. Really, Fire TV is just a skinned version of Android TV, so for the most part, they have the same apps, to be honest with you. Technology Support says, I have a cable network internet pricing at 75 down and 7 up. But the 1 gigabyte down, 50 up is cheaper. Should go with it. Yeah, I mean, if it's cheaper, read all the fine print so you're not finding any hidden fees. But yeah, if there's a cheaper one, get that. Anthony says, thanks, Luke. Layer 3 TV, I was not happy with 2 years ago. T-Mobile. Yeah, so this year, T-Mobile bought Layer 3. Back when you had them, they weren't. But Layer 3 is basically a cable network. It really is. It's just cable by other means. Heath Deuces, do I have an Nvidia Shield? Yeah, I have over like 100, it feels like, streaming players. But yes, I do have an Nvidia Shield. I have several Nvidia Shields, first and second gen. One big missing app is YouTube on the Fire TV and all Fire TV tablets. Yeah, it is. And some Android TV devices don't have other ones, like they don't have Amazon often. So it really is. There's 50-50 both way between Fire TV and Amazon. So do your research. Make sure it supports what you want. All right, everybody, got time for one more question, so get it in. While I take that, hey, I'm going to hit play real quick on an ad. This 30-second ad helps me pay the bills, support my family. Thanks for watching. To everybody who's still watching, hey, thanks for hanging out. If you have one last question, get it in. I'll do my best to answer it. All right, as soon as this ad finishes playing, we'll jump into answer your question. This ad is a surprisingly long one. It must be a full 30-second one versus the typical 15 one that often plays. And we'll see what happens here. Here's one question. What's the top streaming service? So here's the question. What's the top streaming service I prefer to use? I usually use on-demand ones like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. Again, though, whatever you use, they're all great. Just get one that offers the content you want. Is it good to buy an Nvidia Shield in 2018? Yeah, I think the Nvidia Shield is a great player to this day. Where do I buy my holiday clothes? This is Walmart. I'm wearing the finest made Christmas blazer from Walmart. I don't know what it's cost. I think it was like 30-40 bucks. It was on clearance. Stephen, I've never heard of that service. I'm not sure. Thanks, NYC. Hey, I'm going to wrap this up. Again, I hope everybody has a great holiday season, wherever you may celebrate. Merry Christmas from my family. We'll be celebrating Christmas this week. But Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, wherever you may have celebrated already or still plan to celebrate, hope you all have a great New Year. If I don't see you next week, have an amazing, or have a great Christmas. If I don't see you next week, have an amazing New Year. Be safe out there. I really mean that. A lot of sad things happen this time of year as people get drunk and don't play it safe. So be safe out there. I will be back next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here. So check that out. As far as those people are asking me, like, what do I think of the different routers? I really think they're all good routers, so keep that in mind. All right, everybody, take care. Again, I really appreciate it. I hope you have a safe and healthy holiday season. Take care.